First tonight, the state's highest court is siding with the Secretary of State to put third-party candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name on our November presidential ballot. 13 on your side political reporter Josh Albertus is following the latest developments. He joins us now. And Josh, how did we get here and what does this opinion say?
Well, we've been kind of thrown for a little bit of a loop over the last few days on this. Is RFK Jr.'s name going to appear on the ballot in November here in Michigan or not? The state Supreme Court in this opinion today saying it will. The court reversing a Friday ruling from the state's Court of Appeals that said the Secretary of State should grant Kennedy's request to have his name taken off. The Secretary of State filed an emergency motion with the high court to stop that, arguing that it was just too late in the process. And the majority here today of the court agreeing, saying things had already happened that meant his request for removal does not have to be granted. Now, what does this mean for the race as a whole? Kennedy, in recent polls like the one commissioned here from the Detroit News and WDIV in late August, he's been in single digits in Michigan, but with just how close the race has been among those major party candidates in recent polls, that smaller group of Kennedy voters could make all the difference. Now, Kennedy asked to have his name taken off in a number of key swing states. As he announced late last month, he was suspending his campaign activities and endorsing former President Trump just before this poll was conducted. Now, we spoke today with an expert before this decision came out about if this were to be the case. He signaled this was just a difficult spot for the court to be in.
It's a judgment call. We've rarely had the fact that the candidate in question actually wants to be off the ballot himself. But I do think the backing and forthing of these decisions does harm really the atmosphere around the election. So the quicker it can be done and the less back and forthing there is, I do think that's the better, at least for the electorate, for the voter.
And John, how would this decision impact the power of Kennedy's supporters?
Well, if you see here, almost the same amount of respondents were still undecided in this poll as said were supporting Kennedy. So as we said, this could make all the difference depending on where Kennedy supporters go. If they stick with him as his name is set to still appear on the ballot, if they'll go somewhere else after the events of the last couple weeks. And we'll have that and more from this decision today on our website later tonight, 13onyourside.com.
Josh, thank you.